Welcome. We are a mother-daughter podcast about all things surrogacy. Together, we have brought 8 beautiful babies into this world, and we would like to share through education and knowledge about surrogacy with those who want to educate themselves on the topic. This is Stop.Sit.Surrogate. Hey everyone, if you ever thought about becoming a surrogate, I want to share something with you. Stop.Sit.Surrogate is now a matching and referral agency that helps guide you through the very first steps of your journey. We'll walk with you until you're matched and connected with a trusted agency that supports you all the way through. It's such a meaningful process, and knowing you're not alone makes a huge difference. So if you're curious about surrogacy or ready to take that first step, check us out at Stop.Sit.Surrogate.com.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Stop.Sit.Surrogate with Kennedy and Ellen.
Hey!
Today, we have a very special guest that we've been excited to talk to. And I know that a bunch of you have been excited to possibly hear. So, Mom, do you want to introduce?
I do. I'm so excited. So thank you first for joining us. This is Sebastian. He is one of the triplets. I know you guys probably get that like grouping all the time, but I do know you as Sebastian, but you are a triplet that I carried with your brother and your sister. And he has been so gracious enough to join us and kind of talk about it from a perspective of a surrogate baby. Like we haven't talked to anybody about that yet. So we are so thankful, and it's open for him. So you give us all your knowledge. Like, I'm just really curious on like, when were you told? Like, that's a big one.
So I don't know exactly when I was told. I feel like, as long as I can remember, I've always kind of known. I think it was when we moved from Georgia to North Carolina.
Okay.
And we had to I was meeting new friends and all that. And we'd start having like play dates, and, kids would be like, oh, can your mom call my mom, or can I call your mom, and all that.
Yeah.
And I have to explain, like, I actually don't have a mom. I have 2 dads. So that was always an interesting conversation to have with, second graders and all that.
Yeah.
And back then I would refer to you as my California mom.
That's
which
right.
I saw you noted in the email.
I know. That's so cute.
I didn't really know how else to classify it. I just knew you as just California mom.
Yeah.
So.
And I think I met you guys obviously when you were born, and then I met you when you were 2. I came to your second birthday party, which you probably don't remember me, but that was in Georgia, and we went. You had like a farm birthday party. It was really kind of cool. We did like petting zoo and stuff, and then I think it was when you were 12 and you all came out to California and we went to Disneyland. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I actually do. And I remember you gave us a hat, which I still have in my room. It did get chewed up by the dogs, but I still have it.
Okay. That's fun. And then Mickey and Minnie came in the room and greeted us all, and we had pictures and stuff. I mean, that one I remember vividly.
I completely forgot about that part. But yeah, now that you're talking about it, I think that's like our first, at least my first real memory of like seeing you in person besides pictures.
Yeah, exactly. And then I wanted so badly to come back for your graduations, but then we were like pandemic, and I was like, can't invite myself. And, so I was like,
It was tough. And especially, in New York too, they were only allowing a certain number of guests per student. So.
Right. I know. So it was. What?
We just jumped from Georgia to North Carolina to New York.
Oh, sorry.
You guys lived in New York?
So we lived in many different states. We moved. So we were born in California.
Yeah.
I think we stayed there for around 4 or 5 weeks, something like that. We were very premature. Then we lived in Georgia in Sandy Springs for I think the first 7 years of our life.
Okay.
Then to Raleigh, North Carolina for probably around 4 to 5 years.
Okay.
And then we had a brief stay in Greensboro, North Carolina, I think 8 or 9 months. And then from there we moved to Seattle, Washington. That was about 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
And then from Seattle to New York in Scarsdale. Okay. So we finished off the last 2 years of high school there. And then most recently, we all moved down to Miami, Florida.
Wait. Now that's the one I don't know. So your dad, Jason's in Miami, Florida?
Yeah. So most of our family lives down here, so he was just, this is gonna be the final place he stops moving around, and it works out for me because I go to the University of Miami, so it's
Right.
perfect. Now I live 8 minutes away from home,
Oh,
so
that's
whenever I want to go visit
lovely.
him, I can go
And
home.
and grandma and grandpa are down there too, right? His
Yeah, they
parents.
live about 30 minutes away. Uncles, aunts, cousins,
Oh,
everyone lives here.
that's
So it's our first
great.
time actually living with family before.
Oh yeah, because that's true. That's true. I did not know you that the whole switch went down there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is super cool.
So those conversations, then I want to get back to these little second graders who are asking you, oh, well, what does that mean? Kids are pretty, they're not, I want to say impressionable, but kids pretty much, you tell them something and it's like, yeah, okay, I get it. It's not a big deal. They don't have the time to create all that bias and maybe negativity on certain subjects. Did you find that's how it was with you guys, or?
Yeah, so I think, like those younger stages, I would explain it to kids, or at least how I remember. I would tell the kids and my friends, and they would understand, and they'd be like, okay, two dads, whatever that means.
Yeah.
I think it really started like people started to have not issues with it, but they were less understanding once
Yeah.
we got towards the middle school range.
Yeah.
Not to say people didn't like it, but they would just, they were just the way they were raised, especially in these southern states, weren't so understanding of it and had a hard time, like, with surrogacy and having two dads and triplets. It was just sometimes a complicated topic.
Yeah.
So I would have kids just be like, oh, like, like what's your mom do? Or, how old's your mom and stuff. And sometimes I would just, let it slide and just say like a random thing. And because, with people you don't really know, sometimes it's just not worth getting into, in my opinion.
Agreed.
But
And on the
Yeah, I
flip
get that.
side of that, right, Ken, on the flip side of that, being
Yeah.
surrogates, when we
Yeah.
used to carry, especially when I carried the three of you, like you would be on a dissertation with somebody for an hour if you gave them just a little piece of what I was doing. Like, oh, one of the kids would go, oh, they're not our babies. And I'd go, oh, yeah, okay, wait. And then you'd have to talk and you didn't know how they were going to react. And a lot of times we
Right.
got stares and we got, what? Huh? You're not keeping that? And it was a whole, as much as I was proud of it, it was hard to deal with on that aspect of it because it was just like, we're just out for dinner. Can we just have dinner? Yeah, just.
That's very interesting. I actually never thought about it on the flip side, but
Yeah.
I mean, especially, dealing with something like that as a kid too, I think
Yeah.
it helps you, or at least for me and my siblings, it helped us be very understanding of like everyone.
Absolutely.
So I like having gay parents for sure. And I like the idea of surrogacy with triplets because it's a cool story.
It is a
And
cool
it's,
story.
It's legit the coolest story. Like it's just so fun. Like, and even though I like never took part in it, I always took every opportunity to brag about it because I was like what's cooler than that? Like, I don't know.
I don't think very much. And honestly, I use that as supplements for my college essays, which I think played, big roles in helping me get into.
Get
So
here.
Cool.
That's super cool. I would have
Yeah.
never thought about that as a college
I mean,
essay to get in.
ton of stuff to write about moving, gay parents, triplets, surrogacy,
Yeah.
everything.
Oh
Talk
man.
about
Cultural
diversity.
things.
Yeah,
Jiminy
seriously.
crickets. Wow.
I bet that made you stand out so much.
That's incredible.
Awesome.
Wow. So, okay, so and I don't want to harp on it, but you don't really remember. It was just something you always knew. It's not like you're because I'm actually like equating this to adoption. I was adopted as a baby. So my parents sat me down when I was 8 years old. I remember it vividly and said, you're adopted. That means you're not biologically ours. Okay, let me go play. Like I didn't care. It was 8. And as I got older, it started to affect me. I was like, wait a minute, something's missing. And then long story short, did find the birth parent, or she found me, and there was a whole thing on that. Now you guys are biologically related.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's a little bit of removal there, but you're biologically related to Jason, right?
Right.
So that whole stigma of, oh, I don't belong, or I like an adoptee would feel, I don't think a surrogate baby would necessarily feel that.
No, yeah, that never really crossed my mind. I mean, it's just, I'm sure, Jason had this conversation with us, but I feel like just for my whole life, it's just always been a part of us. Like, we
Yeah.
just understand that's how we were born, and I thought it was very normal as a kid too. I thought it was a common thing. Yeah. And another thing I actually thought about now you bring up adoption too, is when I would tell kids, they would just assume we were adopted, or they were confused on how it all worked. Like they'd be like, so does that mean you're adopted? And I think as a little kid, for a bit, that's how I thought it worked. I thought my parents, it had nothing to do with them. I thought they just found us as kids with you. So for a little bit, until my
Yeah,
dad probably
yeah,
explained it.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, it's a hard concept, and surrogacy when I was carrying you guys was not on the new side, but it was fairly new, and to have a triplet pregnancy at that time, like they didn't want us to. They didn't. The agencies were like, "Oh no, this isn't good. There's too much risk." And we fought big time. We're like, "Nope, we're carrying all three. Nope, we're carrying them. We're fighting." And we did. And your parents were right there behind me. So, which I thank them to this day that all three of you got here safely. It was like a combined effort, them and me, and we melded so well. And the support I got from them was phenomenal. I couldn't have asked for any better people to go through that with. Really, I couldn't. And he's your dad. He's your dad's actually. I know they're split, and I know Terry's, I forget, is he North Carolina?
He's in North Carolina. Yeah, he lives in Mebane, which is like in between Raleigh and Greensboro.
Okay, yeah. And he stayed home most of the time, right, with you guys, and had like a au pair or a nanny or somebody helping.
So Jason was this was another thing too. You keep reminding me of all these things. So Jason, he was always like traveling and working. So it was Terry, and we had a nanny for about 15 years named Alta.
15.
Played a very big part in our lives. She was from South Africa, and she came to New York and nannied a couple kids there. And then I don't remember what brought her down to Georgia, but Jason ended up finding her. And I remember talking to her about this. Her whole plan was to stay for a month or 2 months. And then it ended up going on until we could drive to 15 years. So
wow, that's awesome.
That's super cool.
Really cool. Yeah. I remember Terry would tell me different things. That one of them was like a Valentine's thing that him and Alta would do for you guys, and they would hide all these little things. Right? It was so cute.
We had a ton of like little rituals we would do with her, like Valentine's Day thing, birthday things we would do with our friends, just a lot.
Your dad would share pictures of you guys. You would go out and trick or treat on Halloween, and then the next day for breakfast or all day, you got to eat as much candy as you wanted, and then you donated it.
Yeah, so you're actually talking about candy breakfast. And the concept of candy breakfast was you would go to do Halloween, and whatever the next Saturday was, that was candy breakfast. Okay. So he gave us about, I think it was like an hour and a half to pretty much eat as much candy as possible.
Oh my God.
And there were a couple rules, like whatever you open, you have to finish, you can't leave your seat. You have to bring everything you need to the table. And now thinking back at it, I think that just gave him a week to eat all our candy. But
that's great.
It was good. And there was punishments. Like if you let's say you ate something and didn't finish it or whatever, you would have a repercussion for the next year, which would be some odd smoothie you would have to drink or whatever. It was a whole thing for 5 years.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you guys, I always wondered this because she would tell me, because then, I had my son and so my mom's like, the triplets, they just gave him candy and let him eat it all. But anyways, did you guys ever get sick? That was always in my head. I'm like, did they just set them up to get sick?
You know what? I don't think we ever really got sick. I mean, we would go eat an absurd amount of sugar, and then we'd go play outside, get a little stomach ache, go to sleep, wake up perfectly fine.
Right.
I think kids are just built to handle,
totally
stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But now I would not be able to handle anything near that. That would mess me up for sure.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Insane. I think we hit all my questions I asked you. I'll be done.
Oh, you're kidding.
Sort of, kind of. No, I have more.
Okay.
So you personally, Sebastian, I'm just talking from you. I know you have siblings. I know you're like a collective, and they kind of just, hey, the triplets. First of all, did that bother you, being always known as a triplet?
It never bothered me. I know we have cousins who are twins, and we call them twins, and they would get bothered by that because they like to be their own individual person. But I kind of take pride in being a triplet almost. Like
Okay.
I like that. And honestly, like sometimes I forget about it. So I'll be talking to friends and they'll ask about siblings and I'll like, casually say how I'm a triplet and they'll be like, wait, what? You're a triplet? So I think it's cool. I think it makes me stand out a bit.
Yes.
I like it. I like being called the triplets. It's cool.
Okay. That's cool. And so I don't even know how to word this one. Um, you personally, I mean, I know you're a product of surrogacy, and obviously you wouldn't be here if that entity didn't happen. If surrogacy was not a process, you wouldn't be here. Are you a fan of surrogacy? I'm just assuming you probably are, but I mean, how do you feel about that? And how do you feel about, you know, not necessarily same-sex marriages, but just how the whole process works? Like in Ukraine right now, there's 18 babies over there from surrogates that can't get out. They're little itty bitties and they can't get out and they can't meet their parents and they can't. It's so devastating that I was just curious how, just what your thoughts are, just literally on just surrogacy, if you had to remove yourself.
I honestly, I think it's, an extremely important thing because it's not just for gay couples in my mind. It's for anyone that just can't have a baby. I think, like it's in a way, you're kind of like a hero to these people because you're willing to bear their child. And for either they might not be able to or they physically can't.
Right.
And like you're giving up, not giving up, but you're sacrificing 9 months of your life to be pregnant with kids
Sure.
that aren't even yours. And I think it's honestly, it's very fascinating to me. And I think it should just be a very like a way more accepted thing. It should be viewed as like, the same way like a superhero is viewed in my mind. Like I just, it's the reason why we're here. So I
Sweet.
like it. I think it's great.
Good. Thank you. I was just curious because I know there's a couple states that still don't allow surrogates to give birth in their states, and they have to. And when I was doing it, there were a bunch of states that didn't allow it, but now it's. I think there's 3 or 4.
There's about 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me personally, just, I mean, maybe it's because we grew up with it, but I don't understand. I just find it hard to believe that there's people that don't think that's okay. And it's,
Right.
it's a little messed up, but
Agreed. Agreed. Got anything, Ken?
Well, I have a couple questions that people have asked me to ask Sebastian.
Yeah.
Are you cool with that?
yeah, of course. Ask away.
Okay. I mean, mom basically asked you a bunch, but and I think I already know the answer to this one, but they want to know if you were interested in knowing who your mom was once you were old enough to understand. So I guess they mean like, were you interested in also knowing who your egg donor was?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've just always known Ellen. She's always been like a figure in our life. But so I was always relating back to the egg donor. I was always under the influence that was like someone who's just a random person. You don't really know much about them.
Right.
Until very recently, our dad just sent us a picture of him one day. I was like 11 or something at night. Like I was in my bed just on my phone about to go to sleep. And I get this picture and I'm like, what? Where'd this come from? And he's just like, oh yeah, this is your egg donor. And I'm like, wow, this is incredible. Like this is just someone who I didn't know you could find who like she was just, I had no idea what she looked like. And I got to see a visual of who she was. And I honestly see a little bit of similarities in the face shape.
Yeah.
But I thought that was always something in my mind. I wanted to see what the egg donor was like.
Yeah.
Just because there's a couple things between me, Ben, and Maddie that I couldn't really see how Jason or Ellen gave it to us, but maybe it was from her side of the family.
Interesting. Yeah, that's really cool that he's got a picture.
Yeah.
I remember when they were picking her out and because I had a lot of questions about it. And I was like, can I know more? Like, how are you picking her?
I
Why
didn't
are you
know there
picking
was
her?
like I didn't know there was a whole process to like, you can pick anyone. I thought it was just you get random eggs and that was it.
Yeah, no, they went through a big process and it was like try to get features of like the other parents so that it can kind of meld, and education was a big deal. And and of course history as far as genetic diseases and things like that was a big deal to them. So very interesting. That's so weird that he just sent you a picture.
Oh, so random.
And maybe he told us about it in the past, but I just, this is like a recent discovery for us. I mean, I just never knew about it. I didn't know the whole process, but I'm taking a psychology class right now, actually.
Oh, wow.
and I'm learning about like different genetics and all that. So it makes perfect sense on why you would want to choose like a specific person for that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Wow. You could write another paper for that one, you know?
Basically.
Boom.
You can write a dang book. Oh my gosh.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, right? Oh man.
Um, and then the other one that just wasn't asked was, how do you think being born from a surrogate has impacted your goals for a family?
Oh, that's a great question. I've never thought about that before. I
Well, you're
think,
young.
yeah, well,
Super young.
I mean, if I, ended up meeting someone who couldn't bear a child or
Mhm.
anything else along those lines, like, yeah, absolutely, I'd be open to it. I'd be open for any of my siblings to do it as well. I think one time, maybe Maddie even brought it up. She's like, "Oh, I don't want to be pregnant. Like, I want to have someone have my baby, something like that." But I would be absolutely open to it. Uh, no, I mean, it's still your child at the end of the day. You're still using your DNA. So I fully
Absolutely.
agree on it.
Yeah. Oh
It
my
is
gosh,
a
how
huge
cool. Like this is just like fascinating me because I mean, I think I was a surrogate too, so I just wanted to be like my mom. So like
Right.
I had babies for people and I've done it for two gay couples, both of them were males, and then I did it for a straight couple, which was just utterly horrible. But it's so cool to hear that
A surrogate babies.
it's just so cool to hear your side of it.
I actually have a couple of questions. Like, what is the whole
Yeah.
process of being a surrogate? Like, I just never really heard too much about it. Like, how do people find you? Do you get like rewarded for it? Is it just
Yes.
on your own terms?
Right.
Like, how
Yeah.
how does it all work?
All right, I'll take part of that for a second, then you can
Sure.
fill in. Usually sign up with an agency, and your parents and I happened to go to the same agency and we were matched. So that's how that works. They did like a profile. I got medically cleared through that agency, and then we all agreed on contracts through the couple. So that would have been your parents and then myself. And we agreed on the terms of the contract, which would be money, because you are financially
Compensated.
compensated for, like you said, the 9 months. It's usually a year because you have to do 3 months ahead of time of like
Right.
injections and getting your cycle kind of synced up. And then, so you usually do an agency. There are people now that are doing it as private individuals, and they're, with all the social media that's out there, they're linking up through Facebook, and there's different types of web, I don't want to say web pages, but
Facebook. There's Facebook groups and stuff
Instagram
like
and stuff like that people are linking up on, so that they don't unnecessarily have to pay the agency fee. The agency fee is kind of large. It's not for the faint at heart, I think, to do surrogacy, especially those that are trying to have the baby. It's a lot of money, and it's sad because it puts a lot of people out of that realm of being able to do it.
Yeah.
So your parents were in the position to be able to do that. And then they sent me profiles, and the profile your parents put together was phenomenal. Like, I had 6, and they jumped off the page, and I'm like, oh, it's these guys right here. We got to go with these. And the minute we talked on the phone, and they found out that we matched on the day of Rosh Hashanah, when Rosh Hashanah starts, which is in September sometime, and that meant a lot to Jason. Right? Yeah. And he was,
Yeah,
and he,
Jason Jewish.
yeah, and he thought it was like a sign, and it was so cute. And we just, because we had met in the office of the agency, and then we went and had some lunch, and then we both left and kind of thought about it, and we agreed we were going to work with each other. So that's typically how it works. There's a lot of medical testing, a lot of psychological testing that goes on. There's a lot of appointments that happen, and then it's up to the surrogate and the parents, intended parents is what they're called, to either establish or get into a relationship and see how far that goes. I hate to put this out there, but some surrogates are maybe looking for a bigger connection
Yeah.
than maybe the intended parents wanted. And I think your parents and myself, it just fell naturally. Like, it clicked. And I think it had a lot to do with our personalities, and we were in it for the same reasons. And they fought for all 3 of you, because we never knew. I don't know how much of the backstory you know. We had no idea we were getting 3. No idea.
Oh, that's interesting to me. I never really thought about if it was
Oh,
planned.
You
That's
have
so,
to tell
yeah,
him then.
I can share the little story with you because I don't think your dad would mind. So
Yeah,
the
I
day of the
won't be.
transfer, they tell us what the quality of egg is like. And all three of us are in a room. I would say four because Mike, my husband, was there, and your dads were there. And the Dr. Sahikian, I love this man, comes in and he says what the grade of the eggs were. And he gave most of the eggs a very poor quality. Let's say if they rate them from a 1 to 10, he gave them 3s and 4s. That's not very good. So we were all sitting around and he goes, well, how many do you want me to put in? And he said, there's 4 that look viable. And we all just looked at each other and said, for the best chance, let's do 4. So you could have been a quad.
I've heard about that before. We used to
Yeah.
make jokes that, Ben consumed it in the womb. But I remember that. I heard about the
Yeah.
4, but I know it was like there was different qualities of the egg, and
Yeah.
it could have just been 1 or 2 or 3 or
And-
4 even.
And we went through this whole process of getting to that day to do the transfer. Everything's lined up, ready to go. We have these little eggs that we're going to put in. And Dr. Sahikian says, okay, I give you about 15 to 20% chance of getting pregnant. And we all just went, are you kidding?
Yeah.
So back then you had to do 3 days of bed rest. So your guys were in Georgia. So they flew out, they were here for the transfer, and they stayed in the same hotel that I did. And they brought me food, and they came in and watched movies with me, and we talked. And I distinctly remember Terry was like a king size bed. We were both sitting there with pillows watching it because I had to be down, and we were watching a movie. And Jason and my husband, Mike, were out getting dinner. And it must have been like late on day 2. So the next day we were all going to go home. And I felt this just zinging 3 times in my abdomen. I'm not kidding you. I'll swear to it to the day I die. It just felt like an electrical shock. I took Terry's hand, stuck it on my belly, and I said, you just got more than 1 that implanted. And he went, what? It still gives me chills right now. And I go, I bet you anything we got double. We got twins. And then at 6 weeks, we went in for the ultrasound, and Dr. Seekin's like, well, there's 1 heartbeat, there's 2. Oh, and there's 3. And I turned, I said, if you say 4, I'm going to have a heart attack. He goes, nope, just 3. Just 3? Yeah. So It was a shock. It was a shock, but truly meant to be. Like meant to be. You guys are incredible. Yeah, you're incredible. I'm sure their lives were a little chaotic when you were little, but they had help.
Oh yeah, I'm sure, and it stayed like that for a while actually. Now they got 3
Imagine
in college
your dad
too.
having 3 of you in college, 3 of you driving at the same time. I can't even. That's insane.
He's a strong man for all this. We
Right,
put him
right.
through the ringer, but
Aw, that's cute. You call him Jason. Do you call him Jason?
so actually I get asked this question a lot, and I feel like this originated just because, like, to his face I call him dad, and around family I call him dad, but especially as like kids and all that, when we'd be like, we'd have dad and dad, or dad and daddy, or dada and daddy. Kids would be like, oh, which one's that? And I'd be like, oh, Jason and Terry and all that. So I just kind of started calling him Jason and Terry, or just to like kind of specify it a little bit more, because I get that question a lot, like, which dad are you talking about?
Got you. That is fair. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's interesting. Huh, okay. Wow. Yeah. So that anything else you want to add to the process, Ken? Because like now they only put in 1 egg. They only put 1.
Well, yeah. I mean, now it's very different because science has come a long way. But like now they're like, oh, you want to? Yeah, no. Like, good luck. Like, we're not gonna do 2. And like when I did my first one, I came home and I was like, they only implanted 1, and she like flipped, and she's like, I had 4 put in and only, and 3 took. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't want to have triplets. Like, I would like, if that's what it came to, great. But oh my gosh, like it's a lot.
Mm.
It's a lot. But I remember though, I do remember I don't remember a lot. The only thing I remember when she was pregnant with you guys was going out to Benihana's with your dads. I have no idea why I remember that. We were going out for my birthday, and I just remember like I gravitated towards Terry so much. I was like, he's so fun. Like, I just remember like just like being like, let's just hang out like all the time. But
that's the day we found out there were 3 of you.
Wow.
Oh,
That's
was
the
it?
day. That's the day. Yep.
Oh, funny.
And so we were going out to dinner just because they were in town, and then we celebrated that, and we celebrated her birthday. So yeah, it was kind of cute. It was,
Yeah. But it was, yeah, I don't remember much, but and then I do remember shocking everybody at my school because everybody's like, oh, your mom's pregnant. And I'm like, yeah, but they're not mine. And they're triplets. And like, you know, it's for gay dads. And like, everybody just was like,
That must have been, that's another part I just never thought about is like,
right.
you also had that kind of, not in, like in this, kind of in the same way, like
Yeah.
you had to explain this to a bunch of kids, like, oh, my mom's pregnant for gay dads with triplets, which is
Right.
just
Yeah.
equally as crazy to me.
It's well, and it's so funny because when you were talking, I'm like, yeah, it is normal. Like for you, it's normal. It's your life. Like that's what you grew up knowing. Like it's just it should be accepted because it's just a normal thing. There's nothing wrong with it. And so like that's how I grew up. I'm like, well, when can I do this? Like when can I be a surrogate and have lots of babies for gay men? Like it just there was nothing weird about it, you know.
And I don't know if you heard that story either, Sebastian, where I specifically wanted a gay couple, men. That's who I wanted to do a surrogacy for because I rationalized in my head, who better to help? Neither one has a uterus, right?
Right.
So they can't carry. And typically sometimes in same-sex marriages or same-sex couples where it's two women, one of them can carry, they just need to get a sperm donor. So I wanted to help the couple that needed it, like that the challenges were a lot. And so I specifically went out for homosexual men. And I did that on all three. And I would do it again. If I could still keep doing so, I would do it and do it and do it and do it until the cows came home. Because the look on their faces, I remember specifically I had to go into the hospital the night I had to go get checked. I was in for a normal check and my doc's like, let's go get you some bethamidazole I think that's what it was called, for the lungs, to stimulate you guys' lungs. Cause we were at like 34 weeks. And he's like, go to the hospital, we'll get you a shot for you and you'll take care of it. We'll see you in a week. I'm like, okay. So I go over, they check me. I don't know if you know but I'm 3 centimeters. So they're like, nope, you're staying. Babies are going to come. And I'm like, oh no. So I called your dad's and like, should we come? And I'm like, yeah, you got to get on a plane. So fast forward to the next morning, emergency C-section, you're all born. They're on a plane. They're giving champagne. They know that the stewardesses are giving them like champagne because they got on. We're like, we're going to get our triplets. They're in California. Like so cute. It was so cute. You're the way Terry would tell it. Yeah. And so they got there. And they came kind of at the right time. Yeah, they didn't get to see you guys, literally get born, but you were all cleaned up and you were all in the NICUs and everything. And so they just got to go and be with their babies, be with their family. And you were all in the same room because it was a triplet. They let you all stay in the same room and then you all bedded together. I'm sure you see those pictures all the time with all 3 of you together.
Yeah, yeah. Those are very common. And actually sorry to interrupt.
No, go for it.
One thing my uncle loves to brag about every birthday is that he was the first one to see us born, or maybe not born, but he's the first one to see us.
It was Jeff, right?
That's so funny.
Yeah, it was Jeff.
Yeah, because he sped up. He was living, I think, in Long Beach or somewhere down. Yeah,
and he has a story where he was flying down the highway, got pulled over, told the cop that he's going to see his brother's triplets be born, and then I think he got like an escort to the hospital or something.
Yeah, he did. And he got there, and my mom had come because she was one of my biggest supporters. And so he was like, well, I'm going to go see the babies. And my mom's like, well, if you're going, I'm going too. And so she like went right behind him and they just were like a little taggy team. Like, she goes, he shouldn't get to go in if I can't go in. I'm like, oh my God, Mom, he's family. Like, but
this
yeah.
makes me want to experience all this. Like, I wish I could go back in time and just see how everyone's reaction was to this.
Yeah. And then I will give your dad's kudos with this whole pregnancy that we went through, but they gave me, I left after 5 days. I had a C-section, obviously. So I left after 5 days in the hospital and you guys had to stay. And they let me keep my bracelets on and they let me have free access to you. Who does that? Who does that?
Okay, well, for him, he's not really aware. That's just really uncommon. So like when I got into surrogacy, the relationship I wanted to get out of it was what your parents have with my mom, which is so rare.
So is that, I see, that just seems like that'd be something normal to just have like kind of a close, like we have a close relationship with you. We, my parents definitely, you're talked about a lot in the family. And so that's not normal for like the surrogate to be involved with the family.
It is, it's no, like this situation, the fact that you're here talking to us is so rare. It's like, I'm going to say probably like 2-3% of surrogacy. Like it's.
See, that's crazy because you know, you hold the kid for so long and it just ends after they're born. That's wild.
Well, so one of the things that we're huge advocates on for surrogacy is, because I just went through a really horrible one where they completely mistreated me and threatened me and you know, all this stupid stuff that you can think of. And all I wanted was like 1 hour with the baby just to be like, okay, I got my closure and move on. But they threatened me with a bunch of stuff. And so I didn't get that hour. So our whole thing is like, you know, just if they trust you to carry the baby or babies for 9 months, you should get 1 hour.
Just trust you for an hour in the hospital.
More than an hour, in my opinion. You should, you know, you should have, I mean, you carry that baby, that's your body. You should, you know, you should be able to have access to that kid.
Yeah. They allowed me to call. The nurses in the NICU knew who I was, and they gave me updates on you. I'm not family, but they gave me updates because your parents said they gave permission. They let me come down to the hospital when I wanted to see you guys and just kind of see your progress. There's a picture of me in a rocking chair with all three of you. And I think you're maybe a week and a half old. Like it's right after you went to the step down. Yeah. It's because you were in here and then you're all sitting on my belly. And it was just like, it was so surreal. And they allowed me to get that. They allowed my kids to come and see. And then when they were getting ready for you guys to leave, because you were there, I think almost 5 weeks, they allowed me to come down and go to the tarmac at the airport and help put you guys on the plane. Like I could cry just thinking about that. I don't think your parents knew how much that meant to me because it was like I'm going to cry. It was like I was giving them their gift and their gift was flying off into the sunset to start their lives. And that was the whole thing of this whole accumulation. I don't think they ever knew how much that meant to me because I got to see you go. Yeah. Because I think it was your grandfather had a plane. I don't know if it was his plane or if he had access to a plane. But
I think so. It was our uncle. So
there you go.
Jason's uncles.
There you go.
A jet, or they chartered a jet.
Yeah.
So at the time,
Yeah. And so you guys went, and no other people. It was just you guys, and we were clicking the car seats in. It was like 1, 2, 3, and I was like, oh my God. Yeah. I vividly remember that, and just it gave me the peace and the closure. I'm like, did it, we're done. And that was 5 weeks after your birth. Like, but you got to go home. That was huge for me. You got to go home. And then there was a storm and they flew into Atlanta and they got you guys home, and he promised he would call me when you guys got in the door. And I just had a feeling, and I called as literally they're walking in the front door, and he's like, yep, we made it. And I'm like, okay, that's all I needed to know. So there was a connection there. I'll never get that again with any other couple like that, but I truly value it so much.
That gives me a whole different perspective on the whole thing. I had no idea it was like that.
Yeah.
And actually, I got one question now that we're talking about this.
Yeah. Sure.
I need you to fact check this for me because Jason might have been messing with us, but he said, I feel like at one point in our lives that right when we were born, there was like a little earthquake or something like that, right? Or is that just a made up story that
I could totally find that out for you? There might have been. I think I was in such a turmoil of like just having 3 babies and in a hospital. Like Mike would have a very good recollection of that. I'll text you back. He would, because because
maybe there wasn't, and I could have heard that from someone else, but I just feel like I remember that being part of the story.
It might be. It very well might be. Everybody remembers different things at different times on that journey. It wasn't all rainbows and butterflies and all that, but 95% of that was beautiful. Like it went the way it should go. It really did. And when we found out there were 2 boys and a girl, like that was a huge day. I remember sitting in my car because they couldn't come out for that appointment. And I called them and I said, okay, what are you guessing? And they both made their guesses. And I said, okay, 2 boys, 1 girl. I can't remember. One of them had it and I can't remember who it was. I think it was Terry. I think it was Terry who had it. And I'm like, because he wanted 1 girl. wanted 1 girl. I'm like, yep, it's 1 girl. And then how you were situated, I don't know if you were ever given that information either. It was you on top, Maddie in the middle, and Ben was on the bottom. Mm-hmm.
Actually, so at first we always thought that I was on bottom.
Yeah. Ben.
Maddie in the middle, Ben was on top, and then that
Oh.
switched at some point.
Yeah.
But
And then Maddie, her poor little head, she was the littlest, obviously you guys know that, but you two were getting so much bigger, and her poor little head, she like would put her hands out to like kind of hold you guys away from herself. You could see it on ultrasound. Like, okay, I'm right here. Let me grow. Yeah.
now, actually, every picture that we ever take when it's all three of us, we have to be in that order.
Oh my God. That is
We're
hilarious.
always in that order.
And you were bunk bed style. So you were right on top of one another. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. It was super cute. Super cute.
Wow.
Yeah. God, that's a lot of memories this is bringing back. When you don't think about it, you just don't. It's like, yeah, something I did.
It's just something a part of your life. Like it's just,
Yeah.
it was just there.
Yep.
I like talking it out because I've never really heard these in-depth stories before until now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Yeah. Wow. Gosh. You have any more, Kenny? Are you good?
No, I'm just like, it's just so fun to hear your side
Yeah,
of it. Like
It is.
it's so thrilling because like you're like I mean, and like I said, like it's just so, to me, what I still can't wrap my head around is like the fact that like this is literally probably the best outcome that you could ever get in a surrogacy, and like it's so rare, and like it's just like I'm just like, oh my gosh, because I get to see the little girl that I had next month. She'll be 4, and so I'm like, and it's so funny. You should tell your parents this, but so they were asking me, because so I did international. So my first couple's from China and my second couple's from Australia. And then I did California. Woo. But no, so my first couple, so that's who I'm meeting. I haven't like met her in person since she was born. And they were like, well, we don't know, like, what should we call you? And then my mom shared, oh, well, I had the triplets, and somehow they just started calling me California Mom. And so now she calls me California Mom. And I'm just like, oh, that's a cute little circle right there. And so she'll call me. Yeah, it's so cool. And I'm just like, oh, I get to meet like a little 4-year-old who like I helped bring into this world. And now I'm like, well, maybe I get to talk to her when she's 19 one day. Like, it's so cool that you're so normal.
Your parents made a point of you guys calling me on my birthday when you got older. Do you remember those calls? Some of them?
He's probably like, it's just so normal.
Now it's just every birthday we always at least send a text, but yeah, I'm glad I texted you this birthday because now we got to, really catch up on the Zoom.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, but they would have you call. That was so cute because they would have you call me and I would just, because that's like the only time we would talk all year, and it would be like, and to try and get a conversation in with the three of you, like I have each of you on the phone at one time, and I'm like, that was so sweet of your parents to have you guys call me on my birthday. I'm like, oh, that's very interesting. That's they're making them grow up right. That's all.
Wait, I have to say something about birthdays.
Yeah.
You have to help me give the connection between my first surrogacy. So my first surrogacy, the dad of the baby that I had, his birthday is your birthday, and the baby that I had, her birthday is Jason's birthday.
Wow.
Is that
crazy?
That's nuts. It's nuts. We figured that out in the delivery room. I'm like, wait a minute.
Like an hour. Yeah, an hour before I gave birth.
The dad has my dad's birthday.
No,
and
the dad has your birthdays.
Yeah.
Oh, and the kid has my dad's.
Yes.
Wow, that's so crazy. What are the odds of that?
Trippy.
Odd. So weird.
And that must be a crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Right. And we were like, what? That's so weird. Yeah.
It was so bizarre.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
my
crazy.
So, I was thinking of something else I wanted to ask you. Oh, Maddie and Ben, and I know you can't speak for them, but do they kind of have your philosophy on how this whole thing goes down?
Yeah, I think, the way we were raised up, and I think, our nanny and Jason and our whole family, Terry and everyone, I think the way they just raised us just made us very accepting of everyone and just very respectful and all that. And I have to say they have the same philosophy. I mean, we've never really talked it out, all three of us, but
yeah,
I just, from what I see in them, they're very accepting people. Like everyone to me is the same. So
yeah. I remember a couple of years ago, before the pandemic hit, Ben was out here on a basketball tournament, just Ben,
right,
with his team. And he was like, nobody's here to watch me, or something to that effect, to Jason. And Jason's like, Ellen's in California. And so he texted me. And I moved mountains to get to that game. I'm like, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I had like a previous teaching engagement. I'm like, I'm getting there. And so we got there. He was the nicest human. Like, he was all sweaty and everything, but he came up and gave me the biggest hug. He is tall. How tall is he?
Ben, so now we're the same height. I think we're both 6'1". He might be closer to 6'2". Yeah. So actually, when we were kids, he was always like way taller than me. I was like 5 feet tall for like half of high school, and then I just shot up. But Ben was always tall.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And he was so gracious and so sweet and just so like, I can't believe you came and watched. I'm like, of course I'm gonna come and watch. Like, you should tell me every time you're out here. Like, ridiculous.
Yeah, now he's at USC. So
I know.
I'm sure.
I really would he, I don't want to be like hovering, like, but would he be receptive to me just texting him and going, hey, could we meet for coffee or dinner or something?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I'm gonna tell him, because I really enjoyed this call. I'm gonna tell him that he should come out and have the whole same conversation with you as well, because it was honestly I like this a lot. So I think he should do it too.
I would
I'm
love
gonna
him.
tell Maddie as well.
I would love Maddie. I would love to hear it from a girl's perspective. Really, I mean, I would love to hear Ben too, but from a girl.
Maddie grew up
All
the
boys.
only girl in the whole house, except for our Jenny, but she was 60 however many years old. So
how tough is that? That's tough. Yeah, that's tough.
And
I think
in those situations, sorry, go ahead.
No, in those situations, what?
Yeah, so I feel like normally in those situations when the girl grows up like in a house full of guys, they kind of have like a lot of guy attributes, but I feel like she's still very girly and all that type of thing. I mean, she's tough though. Like when me and Ben mess with her, she can handle it, but
that's good.
She's still very, yeah.
I felt that when we met at Disneyland, I think you guys were 12, maybe you were 10. But she grabbed me so tight. You guys hugged, but she grabbed tight. Yeah. And Maddie,
she makes these very like strong connections in her mind, even if she's never met someone.
Exactly. And I thought I was never really an influence in her life, but I was the woman who got her here. And I just don't know. I'd really like to hear it from her side. Like, was there something there where there was, I don't know. It's just a woman's perspective sometimes is different. And I just remember that grab from her, and it was a hug, and she didn't want to let go. And I was like, oh, I wish I could just keep you here. Like, and
I would love to hear Maddie's perspective on this too. So I'll be up there as well.
For sure. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Thank you so much.
I know. Do you have any more questions for us? Because we're open books.
Yep.
I wish I should have come up with some questions. I mean, you kind of covered all of, because it was just like the whole process of it, which I never really understood. And like, again, like the whole connection thing, like I feel awful that like you didn't have like that whole connection that she got, but I didn't realize like that wasn't like a common thing. I thought, in my mind, if you're giving birth to someone, like in a way, it's kind of your kid as well.
I wanted to get that connection. Obviously you go in hoping that you get the connection that my mom got with your dad's. And I got that in my first journey. And so I was like, oh my God, now I understand. Cause like, it's this euphoria. It's like it's this weird type of addiction. It's way better than any kind of drug you'll ever take. Like, it's just, cause it's just, once you see like the parents' faces, like they're just like, oh, I have a baby. Like, and it's just
life to a person. Like,
it's,
and especially to see them grown up too. That must be a crazy feeling for you. Like, you saw them as a kid, and especially Ellen, like we obviously were kept in contact, but you never really got to like see us too much besides Facebook, and now you get to see like kind of what we've become.
Yeah. It's amazing.
That was crazy too.
It's very cool. It just brings it so full circle. And to like your family, your parents went from 2 to 5 in overnight.
Yeah.
A family of 2 to a family of 5 overnight. Like, and to just the looks on their faces when they came to my hospital room, they came to my room before they went to see you guys. And I was like, no, go see your babies. You can come and see me. I'm here for 5 days. Go see your babies. I just want to make sure you're okay. That's the kind of men they are.
Yeah.
They just got off a 5-hour flight, so excited to meet their babies, and they came to my room. I'm like, what? Huh? Like, insane. Like, the little things that they would do like that, but that's who they are. And you know that because they're your parents, but that's the kind of individuals, right? That's who they are. And I just felt so fortunate to do that sort of surrogacy with that kind of just risk on it with 3 babies, to have them supporting me. It was unbelievable. Yeah. I'm not gonna say the pregnancy. I mean, it was hard towards the end because it was so big. I gained, how much I gained with you guys? I think I gained 80 pounds with you guys.
Wow. She gained as much as she gained with me when she was pregnant with me as she did with the 3 of you.
This actually brings up a question to me. Like, what does like the tax on your body look like having 3 kids? Obviously, it's C-section, this whole thing.
Good question. So when I first got pregnant, we found out it was 3. I went to the specialist and he said, okay, so by the time you're 24 weeks pregnant, which is 6 months, I need you to gain 24 pounds. I said, okay, why? And he said, because the babies are going to get so much bigger and you're not going to be able to eat as much. And they're going to start living off of me, the surrogates, fat reserves. And I went, okay, I guess. It was so hard to hit 24 pounds in 24 weeks. I ate milkshakes twice a day. I would go to Baskin Robbins. Mike would make them for me. I did it. I got to 25 pounds in 24 weeks. Thank God.
That's really impressive.
Thank God. Right? Yeah. Well, and then, okay, so the downfall of that. So, I mean, I've been overweight, but just like a medium size, you know, kind of like, I don't know, size 10, whatever, like my whole life. So after I had you guys, my tummy was so big. Usually you get to 40 centimeters round when you're pregnant with a normal baby, 1 baby, and you're full term. I got to almost 60 with you guys. So that's 20 more. So where does that skin go? It just goes. It hangs. So how many years ago? 17, 18, 19, 20, 5 years ago, 18, 20, 5 years ago, I got a tummy tuck because I would exercise and diet and I couldn't lose. It was like a fold of skin from you guys. And I couldn't lose it. And I couldn't lose it. And finally I went and he took it off and I'm like, oh my God, I feel so, this is like, it wasn't like getting rid of that pregnancy. It was getting me back. It took that long. It was only 5 years ago. Yeah. It took
That's
that
also
long.
something I never thought about too, with like the whole pregnancy thing, like you're sacrificing your body for that too.
Right. True. And if it's just 1 baby, you can pretty much get back into shape. But this was like big. And you guys were, you were like, I think you boys were 4 pounds. And I think Maddie was like 3 something, 312.
4 and 3.
Yeah. Yeah. She was 3 something. She was teeny, but she was a fighter. Oh, she was a fighter.
Still is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it seems like she still is.
For her.
How funny. Oh my God.
Right. Okay.
Well, Sebastian, I mean, if you want to know more, because we've each done episodes on our own journeys, and she did your guys's like detailed, specific, like it's crazy drawn out. So if you guys ever had any curious about literally step by step like process, she gave that whole story.
Yeah, I was actually just about to ask if because I want to hear both of you guys' stories actually. Yeah. And I like listening to podcasts too. I haven't really been recently just because I'm in school. Yeah. But when I'm driving around, like going to work or whatever, I like to listen to like a good podcast, and I definitely want to listen to, the story about us for sure.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I know for sure you can find us on Spotify. We're just Stop.Sit.Surrogate. And then oh gosh, where else?
Aren't we on no, aren't we on iHeart?
We're on iHeart, and we should be on Apple, but it's being weird. And I guess we're on Amazon. Somebody just told me we're on Amazon.
Yeah. So you should
you got the whole board. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We're trying. It's just her and I, and we just have conversations with people. And we had somebody who has an Etsy shop who sells surrogate merchandise, which wasn't available like when I did surrogacy. So that's kind of interesting. And we're going to have an agency on, and we don't get advertising. Nobody has like jumped in and said, hey, let us, because we just want to get more information out there. We wouldn't say no to advertising, of course, but we just want to get more information out there about surrogacy and take any type of stigmas that might be there. We just want to take them away and just look at this outcome. Like I'm literally talking to a baby of triplets, one of the little triplets that I carried for 7 months or 7.5 months.
Crazy.
No, did I carry you? You guys were born August, you were September. Oh, you were like 6 or 7 weeks early. Yeah, you were 30. Yo, you were 8 weeks. Sorry. Yeah, you were 8. But you're still big for 8. So I'm super proud of myself. I'm just gonna pat myself right there. Okay.
And I just had actually one question about the podcast. How long have you guys been doing this for?
Oh, we started, I think we started, oh, I swear we started in September.
Yeah,
We
I
started
think we
in
did too.
September.
Yeah.
And we
Like fairly
go,
recent?
Like 6
yeah.
months.
Yeah, and we go bi-weekly. So every 2 weeks we put a new one on.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm absolutely telling Ben and Maddie to
Yay.
I was thinking about it and I was like, maybe I could try get them on, but I feel like it might be a little hard to have 3 people as a
Yeah.
guest. But each individual person, I think that would be great. That would be awesome. So
It would be super fun if they want to do that. I would love it. I would absolutely love it. Yeah. Okay, Sebastian, thank you so much. Are you called Sebastian or are you called Seb?
I go by whatever.
Yeah.
For the school, I put my name in as Seb, but I go by Sebastian and Seb.
Gotcha.
Seabass, Squatch, anything.
I never knew that Seb was like a nickname for somebody named Sebastian.
It just came one day. It's first grade, I think. I was just like, I was first or second grade, I remember it. And I just one day just wrote it on my paper and my teacher just let it stick. So that's when it became Seb.
That was nice. Awesome. Well, I cannot honestly thank you enough for taking time out of your day. I know it's later for you.
Yeah.
And I know you're in school and we so appreciate it. I can't. Like,
oh my gosh.
If I could like bow down, I would. It's like,
yeah.
Thank you.
Honestly, and I'm very, very glad I did it because it's just giving me this whole view on the whole situation. And, I really got to talk it out. I'm enjoyed talking to you guys because we haven't had a good conversation in so long. So,
yeah. No,
yeah. I'm going to get a hold of, I think Jason might come on, but I think I'm going to get a hold of Terry first and get his perspective.
I was actually about to say, I would love to heir what their perspectives are.
Right? Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Could you imagine if we got your whole family, just like each parent and each kid, like it's literally mind-blowing to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Definitely. That would be possible. I'm going to convince Ben and Maddie because they'd probably be a little weary of it at first, but I think they would really enjoy it.
Yeah.
So.
Aw, thanks, Sebastian. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah. This is cool. Well, have a lovely evening, Sebastian. Thank you so much. Really, seriously.
I really enjoyed this.
Awesome.
Thanks, honey. You take care. Don't be a stranger. We'll talk.
I'll see you guys.
Bye, sweetie.
Bye, Sebastian. Bye. Oh my gosh.
Super exciting. I can't even tell you all. I was so excited.
That was so cool.
I'm going to tell you, I was a little nervous. Why? Super nervous. Well, because we're having conversations back and forth and I was just like, is he going to want to talk to us? Is he going to be forthcoming? I mean, I know the type of character that these kids are because their dads keep me abreast of what they're doing. And I see them on Facebook and, I know their characters, but it just like a 19-year-old to take time to talk to, me and you on a podcast about surrogacy. Like really? Like he was awesome.
Was so cool. Like it doesn't, I don't know. I'm not really surprised by that because I know his dads.
Yeah.
So like they raised him right.
They did.
And he's just so like, and he was interested in knowing more. And like,
he was.
I just think that that's like legit the coolest thing. And like for him, like what he said, like, he was like, wait, what do you mean this is like the best outcome? And it's like, well, no, like this is rare. Like this is rare. So it's so sweet because it's like, okay, he thought nothing different of it because his parents didn't make a big deal about surrogacy. They were like, no, you were brought here and we're a family and they helped make you a family. And he called not just us, he called all surrogates like super women. Like we have like a superpower.
Yeah, he did.
Superheroes.
Yeah, superheroes.
From a surrogate baby.
From a surrogate baby. Super cute. From
a person who was born out of surrogacy.
Yeah.
He thinks that we're superheroes.
That's awesome. He's very sweet. Such a sweet. That was a great interview. I loved it. That was awesome.
I know. And I don't know why, but like, I feel like the compliments from him are like above and beyond what an intended parent or an intended, couple could give because he was the one from it. Like they were a part of it, but he is from it. I don't know. I'm like literally just like,
and it's interesting that he didn't know like all of that process. Like I'm sure they've shared information with him, but maybe I went a little bit more in depth,
but also like maybe they don't really, maybe for them it's either a blur because it was just like, oh my God, we just want to get to this spot, or maybe they just really didn't know what you had to, go through because they're only coming from the intended parent side.
Yeah. He's very, very articulate young man. Very articulate.
Oh my gosh.
Unbelievable.
He's very mature for his age.
Yeah, 19. I can't believe they're just 19. Like to me, they're 19. So 19 years ago, and August, it's going to be 20. Like 20 years ago, I carried and had them. I was 19 years ago, right now, I was pregnant with them. Like, it just blows my mind.
Mind blowing.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's cool. Interesting that he asked the question, what happens to your bodies? Like, what's the toll? Like in a normal surrogacy, typically you're not going to go out and get a tummy tuck.
Right.
In this one, I mean, I struggled and dealt with that for years and years and years and just thought, well, it's my battle scars. It's what happens. I did a good thing, but never really felt comfortable in my skin. I finally, 5 years ago, started feeling comfortable in my own skin again. So,
which is great.
Yeah.
I know. And he's, I don't know. I could talk to him for hours because I'm just like, he's so humble, down to earth. He's so grateful. It's just, I mean, shoot, I almost cussed. That is, he is the reason, but that's the prize. I guess, I don't know, would you call it a prize? That's the
reward.
It's the reward.
It's kind of like the full circle. This is the first surrogate baby child person we've had on. And for him to be that positive about the whole experience, I mean, that's how he became to be. And like he said, when they take pictures, they do it in ABC order, and that's fun. That's just, they have their own little thing. And like when he says, sometimes he talks about being a triplet and he likes it. He's proud of it. He thinks it's great. He wrote his college essays, supplementals on that. Like, I just, amazing how much I found out about this. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I know. And I think what's cool is like, he found out stuff too.
Yeah,
like,
he did.
It was both ways. And now he's like, I think for him, he was, correct me if I'm wrong. He found it therapeutic in a sense. He was like, I love talking about this.
Yeah.
And blah, blah, blah. And like, I think, Ben and Maddie should do it. And of course my parents, now I'm just like, holy cow. Like, this is just, I don't know. I'm literally on cloud 9.
Oh, I'm glad. Good.
Well,
I hope the listeners, I hope all you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm going to work on getting his sister and his brother and both of his parents. Yeah, so we appreciate you listening. Yes.
I know. I have one question for you.
Uh-huh.
Because you kind of like cut me off a little. I wanted to ask you a quick question.
Go for it.
No, how did you feel talking to him? Like, how does that compare? Because in my mind right now, how does that compare to when you got the euphoria of here is your baby?
Wow. This is so much better.
Oh my God, I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's because he now knows how he got here.
Mm-hmm.
He knows the story behind it. It's always been a part of his life. It's never been any different. He's so accepting of it. And he even said, they called me California mom. I wasn't like being ridiculous with that. Yeah. And so they had a place for me in their compartmentalized lives. And as they grew older, they got to like not be more a part of my life, but we don't text all the time, but we text like on birthdays, like, and stuff like that. And for that to actually have humans who, okay, now I understand because my kids talk to me, my kids love me and things like that. But to actually have your little humans that you've had for someone else via surrogacy, to be able to carry on a conversation like that with you and to be so appreciative of how you helped them get here and the process that you helped their parents get through. I don't know. I've never really looked at it that way before. It put such a different spin on it for me. And yes, I enjoyed that conversation more than you'll know. It was phenomenal.
Oh, I'm sure. And like, I think with just piggybacking off what you said, and then we'll wrap it up. But going off of what you just said, the largest part of that is due to his parents and how they raised him.
Absolutely.
No, I know. But like that's what's insane is like, you have to have grateful intended parents, like actually nice people going through this journey with you, because then their kids will grow up more along the lines of Sebastian and I'm sure Ben and Maddie. And like, it's just like, that is the That is the picture perfect. They are the picture. You and that family are the picture perfect surrogacy poster. Like, put it up everywhere.
I mean, come on now, in this day and age, because we've talked to several surrogates who've had several great outcomes.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is, but I haven't seen a 19-year-old from one of them come on and talk and give their perspective. Granted, I'm sure they're out there, and I'm sure there are plenty that feel this, that feel the same way. But it's just to have experienced that firsthand, like that right here. I just got to witness the most absolute best outcome, and like.
And he's going to talk to Ben and Maddie and say, hey, you guys need to do this.
It's so cool. Like, that's why I got into surrogacy. Do I want to do it right now? No. Will I do it again? I don't know. It sounds pretty great.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's okay. And when I told him, literally his parents jumped off the page on their profile. It was so well done. And they jumped, and I said, this has to be them. This has to be my couple. But I truly meant that's how it happened.
Yeah.
And from then forward, there were little bumps and little, there always are, but the majority of that relationship and the majority of how that journey went and is still going.
Yeah.
Still going almost 20 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually it's over 20 years because the kids will be 20 and we started this process a year before they were born. So
it's just mind-blowing.
It is. So everyone, we so appreciate you listening. I hope that filled you with I don't know, happy thoughts. I just got a feeling of good. It was just a good warm fuzzies.
It was a feeling of gratitude. Like, it was just pure gratitude. It was a humble conversation. It was like a little dream.
little slice of heaven right there. It was super fun. And I was a little nervous about it, but once we started talking, because we had problems with the video and I could hear his voice before you got on, but I couldn't see him. And so we just had a really quick, 45-second conversation. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is going to go fine. Yeah. So thanks everyone for listening. This is Kennedy and Ellen, mama and daughter.
Yes. And if you guys would like to share your stories, go ahead. Please message me on Instagram at Surrogate, SURROG, 8 mother. You can be any part of a journey of surrogacy. You can be in one currently, you can be out of one, you can be looking to do one. If you just want to come on and ask questions, you can be an intended parent. It does not matter. If you have any connection to surrogacy or want to know more, go ahead and feel free to reach out to me. We really appreciate everybody listening, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yep. This has been Stop.Sit.Surrogate with Kennedy and Ellen. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to give us a like and subscribe. Also, check out the link to our YouTube channel in the description. And be sure to also check out our children's book, My Mom Has Superpowers, sold on Amazon and Etsy.